Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Time. My name is Bomani Jones. Thanks for listening on the ESPN app, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can go. I know you ain't heard the podcast yet, but go ahead and give them 5 stars right now. Trust me, it's going to be all right here. All right, on the show today, we'll talk about the NFL and what in the world they're out here doing. Tell you a little bit about what's going on with Donald Glover and his Saturday Night Live performance in that video. But first, hey, man, shout out to you, Toronto Raptors, because I know y'all going through it right now. You need somebody to put their arm around you and just let you know that everything is going to be okay. I imagine it is only a matter of time before Drake does some song about getting drunk and calling LeBron and trying to be like, can I be back down with the crew? Don't forget Drake. Remember Drake was trying to get to the locker room in Miami? That was in 2013 when he was trying to get back there after the game. He want to be down with LeBron. He still want to be down with LeBron. He'd be sitting there on the front row looking at LeBron like Beyonce look at LeBron when she's sitting on the front row like, wow, that's the greatest. Poor Raptors. Look, the Raptors changed up what their steez was this year. They changed the whole offense trying to get it figured out because they were going to be in a position to beat LeBron. And then this year, they won the East. They at least regular season. They were the number 1 seed in the East. They had the home court against the Cavs. And then they got the Cavs. Remember in game 1, man, the Cavs were coming off that series. They were looking like they was a bit of the 7-game series against Indiana. We thought LeBron might be winded, and they barely won that game against Toronto. Barely won that game against Toronto. And, man, it wasn't really close after that, except for at the end of game 3. Because that's the end of the series. Game 4, I mean, we knew that was going to be the end of game 3 was the end of the series after the Raptors had come all the way back. They were getting their doors blown off all game. They came back in the fourth quarter. They got all the way back to a tie game. And then LeBron had the ball, or there's like 8 seconds left. LeBron gets the ball in the backcourt. He runs up to the front court, and he put that shot up off the glass, like to the left side of the glass, running to the left side, threw the ball off the glass. It looked like almost like he realized, oh, snap, I was supposed to pick up the kids, right? Like, oh, man, the school, they're going to charge us extra if I don't pick up the kids in time. Hey, man, I got to roll, man. Bop! Like, I don't know why he came back to the court. If you're going to throw a shot up like that off the glass, you hit that thing off the glass, then you just run into the tunnel because there's nothing to stay for. There's nothing else for us to do here. And Kyle Lowry was just standing there looking like, bro, what just happened? Like, we can't even win this one. DeMar DeRozan didn't even play in the fourth quarter of that game. Then you get to game 4. DeMar DeRozan had what is an NBA classic move, though we're not going to win, so I'll be getting myself thrown out of the game. Like, I don't think he was trying to get himself thrown out of the game, but that was a frustration flagrant foul. Hey, alliteration. A frustration flagrant foul that he committed at the end there. And that whole team, everybody's looking around there like, okay, so do you fire Dwayne Casey? Do you flip up the whole roster? The thing is, those dudes are good. Like, it's not as though they aren't good. Like, the idea they're going to tear this down and build it back up, what make you think you're going to build up something after that that's going to be LeBron?
Well, are DeRozan and Dwayne Casey good? Because that's the real question, though. In game 3, he benched him. That was DNP coach's decision in the fourth quarter.
It was also DNB, here comes the comeback. Like, if he had benched DeRozan and the wheels had stayed off, that would be one thing. But, like, if that's Greg Popovich and we do that, we hail his genius for riding what was working. There was no reason. You saw what happened to Philadelphia. We'll talk more about them later, but you saw what happened to Philadelphia in game 2, where they brought the fan favorite in there and everything got to rolling. And then Brett Brown took him out and you saw what happened. And I got where Brett Brown was coming from. I got to put my guy back in the game. Like, I can understand the argument that was a bad coaching move, but I get it on that. It's like, yo, this is my guy. We're going to put him back in the game. But then you saw the wheels came off. This thing happened with DeRozan. So DeRozan's mad. That's fine. But the most overrated thing to happen in this NBA season is the notion of DeMar DeRozan improved three-point shooter. He didn't get any better at shooting threes. He just shot more of them. I think he shot 31% from 3 in the regular season. And then on top of shooting 31% from 3 in the regular season, what was he in this series shooting for 3? What did he give them in this series shooting for 3? I'll pull this up for you right now. Because remember, DeMar DeRozan, he's really added a 3-point shot to his game. And look, he shot it all right in the first series. Okay, cool. Now, let's get to this series against the Cavs. 0 for 4, 0 for 5, 0 for 0, 0 for 0. Let's go to the last game of the Washington series. 0 for 4. There was a 1 for 4 game in that series. There was a 1 for 3 game in that series. He didn't turn into a new person. Like, you're not going to turn into a new dude 8 years in the league. And by the way, this is caution for Ben Simmons if you just think all of a sudden he's going to turn into a shooter. But if DeRozan can't give you anything from 3-point range, And he's a very good player and has a mid-range game, and there is value in having a mid-range game. So to me, the issue is not, I guess if they have to blow it up, they have to blow it up, because if your best player is Kyle Lowry, you're probably not good enough to win a championship. If your best player is DeMar DeRozan, you're probably not good enough to win a championship. The question is, if your second best player is Kyle Lowry and your second best player is DeMar DeRozan, are you good enough to win a championship?
That's what I was going to say. Or is it at number 3?
Yeah. Right? And also remember we had Amin on, Amin Al-Hassan a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about the Raptors and them going so deep into their bench, and there's nothing more overrated in the postseason than depth. Depth is good in the regular season to keep guys fresh. Postseason, you play 7 or 8 guys. Like, if you're going down to the 9th, you're losing already. And so they were able to roll all these dudes out. And the Raptors, part of their depth, what I think was helpful for them was, it was the idea that they had all this depth that they could roll out to check LeBron. Like, all these long guys to come out here and check LeBron. For the first time, for me, not that LeBron has never looked great, right? But there was a thing about Jordan that I never really felt with LeBron, in part because LeBron just had a different type of game, which was when these cats were guarding guarding Jordan in isolation, and you see them, and Jordan was just faced up to him, and you see it in their eyes. Oh no, there's nothing I can do here. Like, there's nothing at all. You think about, like, the 93 finals. Dan Marley, who was a very good defensive player. Dan Marley squared up with Jordan, looking him dead in the face. Help, 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 before anybody comes. Help. All those clips, you see those guys, and they're just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, that was why Jordan would do those things, like just palm the ball and put it up in the air, and the dudes would actually go for it. And you're like, why are they falling for that? Because they're petrified. All those dudes, like Siakam, just look petrified. Like, there's nothing I can do here. There's a chance that he could turn around and jump back 8 feet and just throw this thing up to the Raptors, and it's just going to fall down. There's nothing that I can do to make anything happen here. And it's all LeBron. Kevin Love got better. Like, he finally stepped it up in this series. Like, yay, good for you, Kevin Love. Don't matter, bro. This is entirely about the LeBron show. That was it. He could barely carry him all the way to get Indiana. But the Raptors, okay, we got this. That man demoralized the whole nation. Part of
LeBronto.
Yeah, when Mark Jackson said LeBronto, I hope he went straight on the internet and he got his copyright on at that moment, or that trademark, whatever it is, because it is LeBronto. Their whole situation. I'm just mad that the Cavs did not win it in 5. I want them to lose this game so they could do it there in front of Drake, so we could see if Drake would actually show up for the game to witness what was going down. But what do you do? And the answer is, I don't know. Raptors have a very good general manager. What are they supposed to do? I have no answer. I have nothing for you on what it is that they are supposed to get done to try to make this happen. None. Like, thanks for stopping by the booth.